Hello guys, this is Saruto Uchiha Storm here and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing what if Naruto was the 10 tails fox. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Chapter 5 The Power of Jubi no Kitsune. I am a sacred gear, one of the 13 Longinus, one of the celestial dragons, the Sekiryute, the red dragon emperor. My name is DxD. Naruto, I see. Tell me lizard, you're a prisoner of this sacred gear, right? Naruto's level of respect for others NL. DxD, that's right, I was turned into a weapon so that humanity could defend itself. Naruto, I understand. He made his Mokuton absorb all of Issei's energy, until leaving only the gauntlet. I ask you, do you want to continue being a weapon? Or do you want to be free? DxD, no, I want to be free, said with a serious tone. Naruto put his palm in a gauntlet which began to shine. Suddenly Hyodo Issei began to scream. It was a heartbreaking sound. He tried to resist the pain, but it was as if a limb was ripped off slowly and painfully. What seemed like an eternity alone, it took less than 1 minute. When it ended, in Naruto's hand lay a red pearl. Everyone saw this with open eyes. Naruto, ready, looking at the pearl now. I'll put you in a safe place. But where? I know. And then he swallowed the pearl in front of everything. Gup asterisk. Issei saw how he simply stripped him of his gauntlet, which turned him into a pearl to later be swallowed. He had lost the only thing that made him different from the rest. Without DxD, he was nothing. No more Sekiryute, just a low-class demon. Naruto, well, you can go out now. And in a puff of smoke a small red dragon with green eyes appeared. What do you think? DxD, bowing his head, I thank you, great primordial. Naruto, looking at the two dragons, but he focused on the black one. Apparently the black one is also the same as you. The way towards Vritra. Hey little black lizard, you have two options. 1. Do you submit, or 2. I eat you? Vritra with a scared tone, I'm sorry for my lack of respect towards your person, oh great primordial, I submit to you, but please don't eat me. Inclining his head, Naruto just stretched out his hand, placing it on his head, repeating the process, getting a black pearl anyway. He swallowed it, and then he turned around to the Oolong. Naruto, you can go out now. And a cloud of smoke was generated on his shoulder, in which a small black snake appeared. Now you looking at Oolong. Oolong, in the same way I regret my lack of respect towards you, oh great primordial, and I am willing to receive my punishment. Bowing his head, Naruto, well then, and in the same way he turned it into a green pearl and swallowed it. After a second a chibi Oolong appeared on his other shoulder. A somewhat funny and incredible sight, for the people who were present. In front of them a primordial god just stripped two sacred gear users. For moments later he swallowed them, which were Vritra, DxD, and Oolong, the who were now beside him, in chibi form. Vritra on his left shoulder, Oolong on his right shoulder, and DxD being carried in his arms. Vritra, Oolong, and DxD. Naruto, from this moment on you three will serve me. The three dragons attended, and I promise to protect you, so that no one can steal them again and use them as weapons. I walked towards Kuno and Yusaka, under the gaze of all those present. Overview point of view. Currently, Issei, Kiba, Kaneko, Asia, Irian, Zenobia, Wukong, and Saji could not believe what just happened. They all believed that it would be a complicated mission, so to speak. The objective was simple: save the leader of Kyoto, Yusaka. Everything it's going well. The situation was controlled. It was difficult, but they could still win, until the unexpected happened. All they knew was that little Kuno watched as her mother was subdued by two of the great dragon kings, who were Oolong and Vritra. When she began to cry and call her father, they did not know what to think, since the information provided by the Gremory clan did not mention anything about her father, who apparently answered her call. There is a force when everything literally went to shit. The arrival of her father not only turned the tables for everyone, his aura stopped all combat. Then he comforted her, took her in his arms, and walked calmly through the sky. Just a hand movement subdued the two dragons, then healed the leader of Kyoto, to later threaten the dragons of being eaten. Issei decided to attack him, only for something to happen that only a god could have: stripped him of his sacred gear and he swallowed it. Seconds later a small red dragon appeared and he took it in his arms and walked the dragons like that and ordered their submission. Moments later he repeated the process and the same ones appeared, only in the form of a baby. Naruto calmly walked towards Kuno. Once he got there he knelt down. Naruto, look, I got you a pet, giving her DxD. He will protect you. His name is DxD. Kuno, really, thank you. Chichiyu with a happy tone and smile. Kuno couldn't express her happiness in words. It was the first time she received a present from her father. She got a pet and I told her I would protect it. She had a smile that would melt the very North Pole. Naruto, you're welcome. Taking her in his arms, I think it's all over. He turned around ready to go when someone stopped him. Wukong, wait, great primordial, before leaving could you tell me your name? Everyone paid close attention. Naruto, my name is Uzumaki Naruto, the Jubi no Kitsune. Once he introduced himself, he began to leave the place, being followed by Yusaka. Wukong, Jubi no Kitsune, Uzumaki Naruto. He turned to see the Gremory clan, who were in shock. He couldn't blame them. Naruto-sama arrived and stripped Issei-san and Saji-san of their sacred gear in front of everyone and no one could do nothing to prevent it. Yu Long, old man whispering in his ear, you owe me a meal. Wukong, ah, surprised you. I thought you had gone with Naruto-sama. Yu Long, dying with laughter, and that's right. I just came back to remind you that you owe me a meal and that my lord wants to meet you. Goodbye. He flew away, looking toward the members of the Gremory clan. Kiba, Issei-san, are you alright? Kaneko, you don't smell like a dragon anymore. Issei, I lost Diedrig. Wukong, Naruto-sama stripped the brat of the sacred gear from him. Now he's just an ordinary demon. Everyone was in shock, knowing that there is such a powerful being in Kyoto and that he stripped Issei and Saji of his sacred gear is not anything. At that moment Azazel arrived. Azazel, what's going on? Looking at the Gremory clan, I felt an immense power a few moments ago, but it disappeared. Looking at Wukong, old monkey, did something happen? Wukong told Azazel what happened, who could not believe what happened. It was impossible for someone to loot and consume sacred gear as if it were a simple game, but there was proof. Issei and Saji, they no longer gave off the dragon aura from always, now they were just simple low-class devils. Naruto VP. He was walking with Yusaka by his side and carrying Kuno, who had fallen asleep, in his arms. It was fun to see the sleeping little kitsune with a smile, murmuring Chichiyu, and to see her tightly hold her clothes, which generated a loving smile. In him, it was surprising. He just found out that he was a father and still it did not bother him. As for Yusaka, he enjoyed the aura that Naruto exuded, which was unconsciously purifying the chakra of nature, which made the trees acquire more life and the flowers bloom in their path. Naruto, smiling, and tell me how looking at Yusaka. Yusaka, tell me looking at the ground. Chichiyu super red. Naruto, I was surprised to find out that he had a daughter and a very pretty one. Looking at Kuno. Yusaka couldn't say a word. Naruto-kun just found out that she had a leaf that she hid from him, and he still isn't upset. He just raised his hand and pointed into the distance, where a huge house could be seen, the which looked more like a temple. Naruto walked calmly while his tails moved calmly. He didn't bother to hide them, in fact, he showed them proudly. A side effect of his transformation into Biju, he acquired a little pride regarding his ears and tails. Yusaka could not believe it. Walking by her side, the father of her daughter was there. She always dreamed of this moment. Every now and then she looked at it and made sure it was not a dream. Her family could finally be complete, in addition to the fact that he was still just as attractive, and the way in which he accepted the existence of his daughter made him very happy. What's more, he acted as if father and daughter had not separated. That caused him to blush like a tomato. They continued walking until they reached the entrance of his home, which was guarded by 3 Tengus. Tengu G1, Yusaka-sama, we're glad to see her safe and sound, and Kuno-sama too. Yusaka, I'm sorry to have worried you. Smiling. Tengu G2, we would like to know who is the person accompanying her. Looking at Naruto. Yusaka, he is my savior and Kunu's father. His name is Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto, you can tell me. Naruto, I hate formalities. Friendly smile, swinging their tails lazily, even with Kuno asleep. Tengu G3, Yusaka-sama, Naruto-sama is a kitsune. Looking at his tails. Tengu G2. But his presence is different from Yusaka-sama. Looking at Naruto. Tengu G1. Counting his tails, he has 10 tails. Tengu G1, G2, and G3 10 tails. Yusaka, once again let me introduce him. He is Uzumaki Naruto, and he is a Jubi no Kitsune. Naruto stretched his tails in all directions, giving a full view of them. At that moment Kuno woke up. Kuno, drowsily. Chichiyu, haha, looking everywhere. Are we home? Naruto, yes. Masumi, smiling. We got home. The Tengus did not know what to do against them. The father of his young lady, who was not just a Jubi no Kitsune, he was considered a legend, a being of unimaginable power. His mere presence made them want to bow before him and swear eternal allegiance. Naruto, let's go in. Today he's been a tiring day. Looking at Kuno, you have to be hungry or not. Masumi, smiling. Kuno, hi. Smiling, I'm so hungry I could eat a dragon. Haha too. Looking at her mother. Yusaka, if Masumi is also hungry, let's go in. Entering the house, being followed by her daughter and her husband. Yusaka informs about my return, and that a meeting be held tomorrow at noon. Entering her house. Tengus, hi. They flew out to report. Omake. Naruto remembered the moment he conceived his daughter. It was like any other day. He had just decided to go out to explore and explore. It was a custom he acquired by wanting to know what the world held for him, after all except his own, and he deserved it even though it was a vacation. Once he left, he set out to explore the nearby mountain. Although the energy of nature was contaminated for him, it was not a problem. So many years holding a mass of hate gave him some stamina to malice, so he set out to purify nature a little, and he stayed like that for a long time until he realized that it had gotten dark. Apparently he still hasn't gotten used to the passage of time, so he decided to contemplate the night with a full moon. It was beautiful. I hoped there wouldn't be a mad goddess on the moon. He was about to return when he saw a silhouette approaching. Apparently it was a woman. He was breathing heavily. He was worried, and when he was going to ask if something had happened, he ended up being knocked out of a only blow, and apparently he was raped by her. The next day he cleared everything up about her through many explanations and apologies from her. The truth did not bother him. She was a beautiful and sensual woman. Chapter 6 Meeting. The members of the Gremory clan were found, resting for what had happened, and giving an explanation of what happened to those who were not present. Some could not believe it, while Azazel informed Seer's Lucifer of what had happened, and he did not believe what had happened. What they told him, the yokai fraction had a primordial god protecting them. Now he knew why they remained neutral all this time. Seer's, I see. And this primordial being came out of nowhere. Wukong, no. Apparently the little princess of Kyoto called him and he came. What left me speechless was what he did next. In just 2 moves he subdued 2 dragon kings, only to later heal Yusaka-sama in a matter of seconds. Azazel, and then he stripped Issei and Saji of their sacred gear as if he were the simplest thing in the world. Seer's, and how did Issei-san and Saji-san take it? Azazel, Issei didn't take it very well. He believed that he and Diedrich were a team, but apparently he didn't like being used as a weapon, so when they separated him from him, he just left. As for Saji, it was the same. Already I informed Serafal about what happened. Seer's, I understand. Please request a meeting with Yusaka-sama tomorrow. Azazel, okay, bye. Ends the communication. Tell me, old monkey, why are you still here? Wukong, I also have a date tomorrow, with you and Naruto-sama. Retiring. One more thing, don't do anything stupid tomorrow. Remember that you don't play with a primordial. Azazel, I'll be careful. The next morning, we see Naruto meditating in the backyard. Once he realized how polluted the natural energy was, he decided to purify it. Since being a wise man and having a greater bond with nature bothered him a lot, for that reason they were in the lotus position to speed up the process. Next to him was little Kuno looking at her father with expectant eyes. Kuno, Oto-sama, seeing Naruto. Naruto, yes. Masumi with closed eyes. Kuno, can I ask you a question? Naruto, you're already doing it. Kuno, well, can I ask you 2 questions? Naruto, sure. Opening his eyes. Tell me, Masumi. Kuno, you know I'm very glad that you came back, but I would like to know why you left us? Naruto, I didn't want to leave my little one, but I had to. The reason for this is because a long time ago before you were born I faced a very bad goddess. Kuno, surprised really, and what happened? Naruto, of course smiling, and let me tell you that your father won. Ha ha ha. Aha, proud. I kicked his ass so hard, that I don't think he will threaten me or my family again. Kuno, amazing, very impressed. You are very strong. Please tell me more. Naruto, at that time I faced Kaguya the rabbit goddess and Yusaka only saw how her little girl interacted with her father. It was unexpected that Naruto returned. After all, she practically raped him when her mating season began. At first she thought he had left because of what happened, but it was not like that. He explained that he needed to train to return to his home world. At first she was worried, but when she learned that he had the power to travel between dimensions at will, that fear disappeared. It was then that she fell madly in love with him. Yusaka is lost in the memories of her when she was interrupted by her secretary. Secretary, Yusaka-sama, the meeting will start in a few minutes. Yusaka, thank you, please inform my husband. Secretary, of course. Bowing and leaving Naruto-sama. The meeting with the council will start in a few minutes. Bowing. Naruto, I understand, thank you, and that sama is not necessary. Secretary, with all due respect Naruto-sama, you are a primordial being, a god superior to any other, possibly the strongest of all gods, rivaling Lady Chaos. Calling you without sama would be disrespectful to you. Leaning. Naruto, sighing. Okay, let's go. Masumi, your Oka-san is waiting for us. Carrying Kuno. Kuno, smiling. Hi, Oto-sama. Council room. Moments before Yusaka, Naruto, Kuno's arrival. In the council room were the clan chiefs, Tengu, Yuki, Inu, Hubby, and Neko, among others, who were discussing the information obtained the day before about the appearance of what many believed was a simple story, myth, or legend. The recent arrival of Jubi no Kitsune named Uzumaki Naruto, who was apparently the father of his young Miss Kuno and partner of their leader Yusaka, no one could assimilate the news. The Jubi was a primordial being of immense power. It could be to say that the only being able to challenge him would be Lady Chaos of the Greek pantheon, but even so, it is not known if he would be able to defeat him. The primordials do not interact with anyone. Yusaka, entering, being followed by Naruto and Kuno. Good morning. Advice. Good morning Yusaka-sama. Kuno-sama, Jubi-sama bowing respectfully. Kuno, waving hello everyone. Naruto, greeting good morning. You can just call me Naruto or Uzumaki, but leave the Jubi-sama. Yusaka, as you may well know, this man next to me is Uzumaki Naruto, the Jubi no Kitsune introducing Naruto and the father of my daughter. Nice to meet you Naruto-sama. While at the temple entrance, a few meters from the Torii gate, which was guarded by Tengus, two magic circles appeared, one red and the other blue, of which Seraphal Leviathan appeared, being accompanied by her sister Sona Citri, Tsubaki and Saji, Searsex Lucifer, Gremory, and Graphia Lucifuge, who was likewise accompanied by her sister and her entourage Rias Gremory, who was not very happy. The reason for this, his only pawn Hyodo Issei was stripped of his sacred gear. Seraphal Leviathan, Searsex Lucifer, and Graphia Lucifuge, Citri entourage, Sona Tsubaki and Saji, and Gremory entourage, Rias, Akano, Kaneko, Kiba, Gasper, Issei, Asia, and Zenobia. Moments later, Azazel and Wukong arrived, who had been talking quietly with Roseweise, since she had left earlier too, according to Azazel, arrive early. Azazel, leader of the fallen angels, Yokai Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, Ross Weiss, Valkyrie. Azazel, cheerful. I see you arrived on time. Well, leave this to me. Walking towards the Guardians. Good afternoon. I would like an audience with your leader Yusaka-sama. Tengu G1. I am sorry to inform you that she is currently busy, and today she will not receive anyone, so I ask you to leave without giving her an opportunity to discuss. Azazel, shocked face. I think she had an appointment for today. Sweating bullets through everyone's sights. Tengu, G2, I'm sorry, but all appointments have been rescheduled. You will be notified of the new date. Wukong. Sighing. Good, my name is Sun Wukong. I think I have a date with Naruto-sama. G-2 Tengu. Oh, if Jubi-sama is informed about your visit, please come in. Wukong, turning towards Azazel. This is how things are done. Azazel, Kaka, let's go. Smoking his pipe. Boardroom. Everything went well in a few words. No one questioned Naruto. No one was stupid enough to even object against him, not only because he was the father of his young lady, he was an existence that should not be questioned. For that reason they gave him free rein. After all, who would be so stupid to oppose a primordial being which subdued 3 dragons as if it were a game, and thus the meeting was terminated, or that was planned until Tengu G3, Yusaka-sama, Naruto-sama, Leviathan, Lucifer, Wukong, Azazel, and the Gremory and Citri heiresses have just arrived, requesting an audience. Angry at such audacity, how dare those dirty devils to request an audience with Yusaka-sama and Jubi-sama. Tengu G3, leaning towards Naruto. Old man Wukong, apparently he was summoned by Jubi-sama. Naruto, thinking it's true, I summoned the old monkey, ha ha ha. According to you, Long owes him a meal. Tell him to come in no matter if he's accompanied. Unconcerned. Tengu G3, Hai disappears. Naruto, it looks like a Shunshin, looking at his daughter. Well, what do you say, Masumi? You're a little hungry. Kuno, cheerful. Hi, Chichiyu. Naruto, looking at Yusaka. Yusaka-chan, you're hungry too. Yusaka, read a little. Naruto, then it's decided, let's go. Besides, the lizards also have to eat. Moments later. Wukong, Azazel, Searsex, Seraphal, Sona, and Rias were in a room with their retinues. They were currently waiting for the arrival of the Kyoto leader, and asking for a few explanations since there were a couple of people who were not very happy about it. What happened the night before? Maid A, Yusaka-sama, Kuno-sama and Naruto-sama bows. Go ahead. The sliding door was opened by the maid, giving way to those mentioned to enter the room. The first was Yusaka, as beautiful as ever. The men in the room blushed just seeing her. Everyone expected the little princess of Kyoto to enter the room held by the hand of his mother, but it was not like that. The next person who entered was Naruto, who was carrying the little Kuno in his arms and was accompanied by 3 small dragons, a green, red and black. At the moment in the one that Naruto went through the sunset, his aura invaded the room was an extremely pleasant feeling of peace and tranquility. Yusaka, smiling. Good afternoon. To what do I owe this pleasant visit? Lucifer, bowing. Good afternoon Yusaka-sama. It is an honor that you received us unannounced. The silence was what remained after the greeting because the women in the room were simply staring at a person who was Uzumaki Naruto, who was currently standing on Yasaka's right side. In his view was a specimen of a man out of this world, comes from another dimension, measuring 1.85 centimeters, blood-red eyes, beautiful blonde hair with red tips and protruding two fox ears with reddish tips. His hair reached his lower back, and 10 beautiful red-tipped blonde tails. He was the most beautiful man you would see in the entire world, underworld and possibly heaven. And he was currently giving the little princess of Kyoto the most beautiful of smiles one could imagine, which would melt the very North Pole. Naruto has red eyes in his yokai form and blue eyes in human form. Of course, he can also change the color at will. Women. Beautiful, gorgeous, pretty. Naruto, smiling thank you. That simple smile fell in love with several, while others simply made them blush. It was so quick and simple that they wondered if it was love at first sight, and all because of his smile Uzumaki mark asterisk, and Naruto is not even aware of this fact. On the other hand, the men could not believe it. In front of them there was a unique being, the Jubi no Kitsune. It was an anomaly, something that was believed that it would never come to exist, but it was in front of them as if it were anything, accompanied by 3 dragon pups all good until Issei, scream Diedrich. Saji, shout Vritra. Wukong, yo Yu Long, he said waving at the dragon. Chapter 7, Pets. Yu Long, cheerful look almost like the blonde for ramen, that there is an old monkey, remember that you owe me a meal. Diedrich, serious look Issei, Vritra, a dark look almost like a certain someone Saji. It was a tense moment for the previous sacred gear bearers. They met their respective dragons, and nobody moved. It seemed that the moment would last forever until a small cookie appeared near the mouth of a dragon, which was given by the little princess from Kyoto. Kuno thought it was the perfect time to feed the 2 dragons, which were now the guardians of the little girl. For her they were only her pets given by her loving father. Kuno, have red, have black nicknames were given by her food. Nobody could believe it. A little girl of only 10 years old was feeding 2 dragons, which were the Red Emperor Dragon, and the evil Black Dragon, reduced to simple pets, who gladly accepted the cookies. Naruto, princess looking at her daughter, don't feed them too much, they can get fat and then they won't be able to fly. Silence for later. Wukong, you ha 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 ha, get fat ha 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 ha. Yu Long lunged forward and bit Wukong on the head. Kuno, hi Oto-san, green. Cookie. Yu Long calmly flew under everyone's gaze towards her cookie, Yasaka, Naruto, and Kuno with a smile, and the others with wide eyes. Azazel, who would have thought 3 powerful dragons were reduced to simple pets. Naruto, looking towards Azazel, stretching his hand I see come, Azazel. What? Seconds after his clothes a purple orb flew out Fafnir. The purple orb flew directly into Naruto's palm, to be shrunk to the size of a pearl and swallowed by Naruto all under everyone's incredulous gaze. Moments later a small golden dragon appeared at his side. This was Fafnir. Azazel, incredulous but what the hell? Naruto, seeing the dragon, what is your name? Fafnir, bows my name is Fafnir, the golden dragon, and one of the 5 dragon kings. Thank you for freeing me Jubi-sama. Naruto, very well Fafnir, from this moment you will serve me, smiling, and your first and only mission is to be a guardian of my daughter. Fafnir, bows it will be an honor to serve you Jubi-sama and I will protect the young lady bowing. Naruto, finishing him like a cat. Well, Misumi looking at Kuno, look here you have another one, handing over Fafnir. Kuno, asking golden? Naruto, yep, happy gold. No one could believe what happened right under their noses. Naruto just stripped Azazel, the leader of the fallen angel faction, of his artificial sacred gear in which Fafnir the Golden Dragon King lived, as if he were taking candy from a baby. And I swallow it in front of him. Issei, incredulous, he did the same with Saji and me. Angry, he stole our sacred gear. Saji, angry, give me back Vritra. He got ready to try to take Kuno's little dragon now. When he was about to take Vritra, he was already preparing to attack him, but Naruto reacted faster and moved one of his tails, hitting Saji back. Naruto, looking at Saji, sorry, but what were you going to do? Saji, anger, I want my sacred gear back, now. Naruto, seriously, oh you are very brave or very stupid, but believe me when I tell you that I will not give you that black dragon now, it is the pet, I mean, my daughter's guardian. Issei, recriminate, you just called them pets, angry, return me to Diedrich. Azazel, I ask with my guard up Jubi-sama, for what reason do I take Fafnir away? You know that this action can cause a war. Naruto, 1. I don't like that creature or imprisoned and used as weapons. I comment with a touch of anger, for that simple reason I took it away from you, releasing his aura, and 2. Sadistic smile. A war with the fallen angels and the demons, for me there is no problem, they can come, but believe me when I tell you this, forming a Rasengan on the tip of his finger, that once it starts I will not stop until I completely exterminate them. I will hunt them down until there is none of you. Smiling. So you still want that war, Azazel-san? Naruto became a bit sadistic under Shukaku's influence. Azazel, submissive. No. Jubi-sama. Naruto, well, in that case, tell me why you came today, since you ruined what I had planned to do with my family today. With a touch of annoyance. Accept your Wukong to you if I was waiting for you. Now follow me, we will discuss in another room. Meeting room. Naruto, okay, let's start. But first, looking at Kuno Masumi, why aren't you going to play with red, green, black, and gold outside? Smiling. Kuno, hi Oto-sama, come on guys. She left, being followed by the 4 dragons. Naruto, seriously? Well then tell me why this visit is due. Searsex, we kindly request the return of Diedrich and Vritra to their rightful owners. Naruto, with a touch of fun, ha 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 aha, a daring request towards me. But I have a doubt, who are they, according to you, their legitimate owners? Issei and Saji, they shouted angrily. It's as, idiot. Naruto, serious, ha ha ha, don't make me laugh. If I remember correctly, angry, they were free creatures until the idiot of the biblical god turned them into sacred gear. Azazel, angry. My father was not an idiot, he made the best decision, to help humanity. Naruto, angry. The best. I capture creatures that are capable of killing him, only to create weapons and deliver them randomly to humans who could not use all their power to help humanity. According to you, I think he did it more out of fear of leaving such powerful beings free. That's why he imprisoned them in his blessed sacred gear. Sarcasm. Well, congratulations, you did an excellent job. It was official. Azazel is furious and is letting go of his power, but before even thinking about being able to attack, Naruto raised one finger and Azazel was crushed by an invisible force. Naruto, getting up and approaching Azazel, tell me, were you planning to attack me? Smiling. The men Searsex, Wukong, Kiba, Issei, and Saji were preparing to launch themselves against Naruto, with all their power, while the women were strangely very calm, observing everything, but the following sentence made them remember who they were dealing with and what they really were dealing with. It was Naruto, grim smile. How about I turn you into a sacred gear? Smiling so that you feel the same as them, raising his hand and releasing his aura. Let's try. It was official. Azazel was afraid, and he knew that he had no escape and he only had to accept his fate. Azazel, acceptance. Ah, I'm dead. Yusaka, blushing. Dear, I think it's enough. Smiling. The men did not move a muscle for such a previous statement and the aura it released, but instead, the women were blushing. Female demons are attracted to beings of immense power, and for that reason, Rias Gremory and her entourage felt love towards Issei because of the dragon aura that he released unconsciously. Now if Diedrich was just an idiot with a dream of being the harem king, but in front of them there was a being that was not only beautiful but also extremely powerful. At first Rias and Sona, they came to claim the dragons. They believed that they would hand them over once they were threatened with a possible war, but it was an unexpected turn. Not only that he denied returning the dragons, but that he stole another one right under his nose, and once he was threatened he accepted the threats and declared that once the war began it would not stop until it exterminated them. Instead of generating fear within them, they were moved by such a declaration. Naruto, sigh. Okay, apparently we have more visitors. But at that moment a beam of light entered through the window, which was the leader of heaven Michael, who came with his sister Gabriel. For a moment they stared at an Azazel who was on the ground. Michael, Azazel, what are you doing? Azazel, I'm looking for my guts. Sarcastic. Gabriel, murmur, but if you never had, Naruto, to what do I owe the honor of having the leader of the sky in my home? Wagging his tails threateningly. I can assume that this is a declaration of war by the sky. Smiling macabre. Although he didn't seem like it, Naruto did take on a bit of the Biju's personality, once he became Jubi, and since then no one has been able to give him a fight, so he subconsciously wanted a challenge. Gabriel, it is an honor to be in front of you. Jubi-sama, blushing. A being as pure and important as you should not be bothered by Azazel-san's actions. Blushing. Michael and Azazel were in shock. Their little sister blushed. Her face looked like a fish out of the water, in addition to the fact that she just confirmed that the Jubi no Kitsune, a primordial god, was a pure being, something that was difficult to believe since he gave off so much power that they believed he was not even his father was such a pure being and that he was God. Naruto, returning to her seat. Well then, since we made it clear that I won't scrub my daughter's pets, what else does she need? Seraphal, serious, but with a blush. We request a free trade agreement between the demonic faction and the yokai. Yusaka, quiet. Why reason should I accept such a treaty? Sears it would greatly benefit the yokai and the demons smiling either commercially or politically. Naruto, calm down. Those who would benefit would be the demonic faction smiling. Sears nervous. What does Jubi mean? Sama. Naruto, smiling. You think I don't know what he's up to? Sears Sand smiling. Be careful, foxes are very cunning. Yusaka, looking at Naruto. What do you mean, dear? Naruto, looking towards Michael. Currently there is a non-aggression treaty between the angels, the fallen angels, and the demons, and recently the Nordic faction we the yokai faction are neutral, but that doesn't mean that others can't attack them. Looking towards Azazel, they need insurance in case another war breaks out. Looking towards Issei and Saji, and now without their precious sacred gear, smiling amused, they need another type of strength, and that's where I come in. It's not like that. Sears San, Yusaka, I see, you want to use my husband's figure as a shield in case other pantheons attack you, right? Sears Sai, it's true, we could prevent a war from breaking out, just by having a primordial god on our side. Naruto, drinking tea. Interesting, and tell me what you are willing to offer so that I can consider your offer. Sears seriously, I am willing to do anything to get this treaty, whether political or commercial. Naruto, quiet, I'm out of that equation, I only defend yokais and my family. Drinking tea. Seraphol, serious and blushing, then I offer myself to make an alliance through political marriage. No one could believe what Seraphol is going through, a woman who was characterized by her childish behavior, and someone who showed no interest in men, currently just volunteered to be in a political marriage. But the first to react was Yusaka, spitting her tea. What? Approaching Seraphol, I think I didn't hear well, you can repeat it. Smiling, Seraphol, serious, I offer myself, as a volunteer to carry out, a political marriage. Yusaka, angry, and could I know, who do you want to marry? Smiling, Seraphol, looking at Naruto, blushing, it will be between Jubi-sama and me. Naruto, quiet, if I've learned anything, it's that keeping my mouth shut can save me from a lot of problems. I just have to enjoy my tea and not say anything. Naruto wisely remained silent, a wise decision on his part, while Yusaka faced Seraphol, as someone sneaked up on him. Gabriel, bowing quickly once again, it is an honor to meet you Jubi-sama. I am the Archangel, Gabriel. Naruto, always with a smile. Nice to meet you Gabriel-chan, but tell me Gabriel-chan, I don't like formalities. Now would you be so kind as to tell me why the leader of the angels personally came to this meeting? But before she had a chance to reply, she was stopped by the voice of Kyoto's little princess, Kuno, who returned only to see how her mother currently stood, fighting Seraphol in a contest of strength with their foreheads glued together. Kuno, Oto-sama pulling one of her tails. What is she doing? Ha, pointing at Yusaka. Naruto picked her up with her tail and placed her in her arms and took a quick glance at her wife Yusaka and Seraphol, who were discussing something he didn't want to know. Yusaka vs Serafall. Yusaka, smiling, I'm sorry, but I think I didn't listen to you at first. Clenching her teeth, would you be so kind as to repeat them? Seraphol, smiling, of course, there is no problem Oba-san. Yusaka, oh Oba-san. Seraphol, I said that I offer to perform a political marriage between me and Jubi-sama. Smile, I hope that now if you have heard it Obasan. Yusaka, who the hell are you calling? Oba-san, don't believe yourself too much, just because you're a couple of centuries younger than me. Seraphol, you just said it yourself, I'm younger than you. At that moment they lost their balance and fell to the ground, only to continue their struggle for strength. Returning with Naruto, smiling lovingly, Oka-san, you're reaching an agreement with that lady about important matters. Tell me, where are your pets? Kuno, pointing towards the door there. They all turned to see the door, in which there were 4 balls, of different colors, which were green, black, red and yellow. Suddenly they all began to move towards Naruto. Once they were close they saw that it was Diedrig, Vritra, Fafnir, and Yulong, who seemed to eat too many, and seemed very satisfied. Naruto, smiling, Masumi, what happened to you? Kuno, cheerful, they said they are still hungry so I fed them a lot of meat, and they ended up like this. Dragons, happy and satisfied, thank you very much, Kuno-sama. Naruto, sigh, look at yourselves, they look like balls where your dragon honor is raising them with their tails. Dragons, honor does not fill our stomachs. Burp. Gabriel, Naruto-sama, I would like to be part of this political marriage. Looking at Naruto, silence. Nobody could believe it. Everyone had a very funny look. Michael looked like a fish out of the water. Azazel had the face of having died. Sears only saw his queen, who did not take off her gaze from Naruto. Yusaka and Seraphol, who were struggling on the ground, stopped and turned their heads as if they were a robot towards Gabriel. Issei realized that his harem was no longer paying attention to him, that and that they never took their eyes off the lucky bastard, as he named Naruto, and Saji. Well, he was heartbroken. The simple reason Sona is fantasizing and muttering things like blonde children with purple eyes or dark-haired children with red eyes. Naruto, excuse me.